So let's implement that contact view. So we come back to our HTML page for the contact. Let's go ahead and just use our HTML skills to create a new form. That form is going to have a label for name and then a text input for name as well. Another label for email. Then we'll create an input of type email for message and then a text area for our message. Let's go ahead and just set the calls to 40 and the rows to 4. So we have a few lines to go ahead and type that in. And then an input for our submit. And let's go ahead and wrap the input in its own div. Let's see that in the browser. It's going to have a very simple form. And because we had styled the form already on our home page, we're inheriting all that styling here in our contact page. Now that we have the form, we're going to want to use some server-side code to imply what the names of the inputs and the types and even later on some validation. And so what we need first is we need a view model, a structure that can contain the name, email, and message for us on this page. And I'll do that by creating a new folder called View Models. And then in View Models, we'll create a new class called Contact View Model. And I'll just use the quick prototyping snippet called prop to just build these properties real quick. Prop tab, the type, and then the name. And there's our view model. We can use this on our page by specifying that this page is going to rely on a model object and we're going to tell it what kind it is. And of course that's going to be the world view models dot contact view model. So this is going to be the model for the page. Now notice that we're getting a yellow when we do lowercase, and that's where you're defining the model type for your particular view. If you do uppercase, it's not going to give you that yellow because we could actually use the model here on the page. And during this module, I'll go ahead and show you how that works, but we're not going to do that quite yet. Instead, we're going to use more tag helpers to help us define what we're actually looking at here. And what we'll do here is use the tag helper ASP4 to specify the name of the object on the model. So this will be for name, email, message. Now we can also use these 4s on the labels to be a little bit more complete. And what this is going to accomplish is something we can see using the tools. We can see because we said ASP4 that the labels are getting the 4 property set. And what the 4 does is it says that if someone clicks on that label, it's going to take them into that control. This is very important when you build forms that you have some intuitive things work, like the for tag on labels. It also set the ID and name for us to be based on whatever the ASP.NET 4. So you can see the ID and name for this input is uppercase name because that's what we used. Same for the input here. The ID and the name are both going to be email. And then for the text area, the same thing. ID and name are now messages. Those are used when you submit a form across the wire. Next, let's introduce validation to these different items on our contact page before sending the message makes any sense. We're going to want to make sure there is a name, that the email is a real email address, and that the message isn't too short. Let's see how that works next.